Delighted to have Cameron Smith, our 2018 Australian PGA Championship winner, join us. Can we have a round of applause? Cam, what an incredible day. It's all, I'm sure, been a bit of a blur for you, but can you tell us how you're feeling?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it was a bit of a struggle today, but you know, just makes it more worth it when you get it done. So, yeah, pretty good. Yeah, sorry, I don't have much for you there.
Out on the green out there, you did a huge thanks to both your caddy and your friends and family for really pulling you through today. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I didn't really have the greatest start. And you know, the family and friends and everything was still behind me, egging me on, and you know, Pin is always positive, no matter if we're 2 over through 5 or if we're 8 under through 5. He's still let's keep going. So yeah, he kept me in there today, and you know, if he told me that if we got 9 good looks at it on the back 9, that will be fine. So yeah, just kept high hopes basically, which is good.
Jimmy.
Bit of a nervous start, was it, mate, or just couldn't get it going quite on the first couple of holes?
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling nervous. Hit a bit of a crappy tee shot on one. Probably got a little bit unlucky to end up where it was. But that's golf. I've been pretty fortunate all week with kicks and bounces and stuff, and you know, to get one bad one like that, you know, it's bound to happen. And from there on, basically, I thought I hit really good shots. I hit a really good shot into 3, hit a really good shot into 2, really good shot into 3, good shot into 4, and nothing was, you know, they were all missed. You know, it was just so windy. It was hard to judge how far the ball was going to go, and the wind direction was a little bit different today, which was a little bit mind-boggling type thing. So yeah, just took it on the chin and you know, tried to stay positive, and that was it.
That second shot on 12 with driver off the deck, was that a bit of a we need to go now? You sort of pushing on to chase after Leash with his lead there?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, Leash was a couple ahead at that point, and you know, I thought we needed to make a big move, and I hit a good shot just left of the green, and put a bit of pressure on Leash, and he still made birdie. So, I mean, that's just the type of player he is. He's just so good, and I got to watch it all last week and again this weekend. So, he's a pleasure to watch.
And then Pinner was saying a lot of commit to it or full swings here. Is that just a tendency when you get under the pump a little bit just to maybe not give it everything, or was that just a thought for the week?
No, just we say we stick to our guns pretty good no matter the situation. So if it's a 3/4 swing, it's a 3/4 swing. If it's a full swing, it's a full swing. And that was just the, you know, how I had to hit him. So yeah, we did a really good job actually all week of communicating that stuff, and really committing to a shot and a line into the greens.
Jim.
Cam, can you explain us what happened on the 15th there, where your ball ended up on the left, and what the ruling was up around the hoarding there when you got near the green?
So my ball on 15, the drive hit the grate, and we were over in the left rough, and I couldn't see anything on my ball, so I asked Scotty to come over just to see if the ball was affected by the hitting the grate, and it wasn't, which was fine. And then yeah, just needed to miss it right of that green for that pin, and hit it a little bit too far right, hit the board, and it was obstruction rule. I don't know what the rule is. So yeah, Scotty helped me out there, and you could go one way or the other, and it was clear to me that the better angle to the pin, not necessarily the better lie, because it was all kind of the same stuff anyway, but I definitely wanted to be on that side.
Can I ask you, I mean, you won the PGA last year, I mean, how, and you were really eager to, when you're first in Australia, how eager were you to defend this week? Like you've said all week, you've been fairly chilled. It's a fun week, but dig a bit deeper, and how intense were you about defending it?
I think probably a couple of weeks ago at the Aussie Open, being the highest ranked Aussie there, probably put a little bit too much pressure on myself to play well, and got off to a bit of a bad start. Played well over the weekend and salvaged the top 10, I think. But this week it's just so, I don't know. I don't do much after the rounds. I just go and hang out with the family and friends on the beach, and you know, I still when I was at the golf course, I was still into it 100%. It's definitely not. I wasn't just here to play. I wanted to win, and but I think the stuff off the course definitely helped this week.
Paul?
This is a pretty hard trophy to win, isn't it? 2 dogfights in 2 years, last year as well. 3 up and then 2 down after 5 holes. You probably would have been expecting that from Leash though, right?
Yeah, I was expecting Leash to come out and give it a good crack today, and you know, I didn't, like I was saying before, I didn't think I did much wrong. The bounces weren't going my way. You know, a few kind of missed clubs that weren't really missed clubs, so it was just hard to judge the wind, and you know, I knew he was going to do it. He's too good of a player not to do it. I knew he was going to come out and play that front 9 strong. So yeah, just stuck to it, and we didn't really change anything up other than that driver off the deck on 12. Probably would have usually laid up, but yeah, thought we needed to do something.
Bruce?
Cameron, this relates a little bit to what Jim's question was, but when you look back 12 months, you've obviously made it's quite a meteoric rise in your professional game since joining the paid ranks, but over the last 12 months since you last won this tournament, how much better a player do you think you are now than you were then?
I don't know. Probably, I don't know how I'd put it. I've definitely improved a lot over the last year. You know, I've put in a lot of hard work, and I've just stuck to my kind of process goals. You know, stuff I have to do during the week. You know, sticking to a schedule in my off weeks, which is something that I never did. So I think all that stuff. And then just getting stronger in the gym. I mean, I'm hitting the ball probably 10 metres further off the tee this year, and it's just allowed me to be a little bit more aggressive into the greens, having, you know, a couple less clubs in, and it's paid off. I mean, I haven't really done anything different. I've just done everything that I do better.
Zane?
I know Jim talked about the 15th there before. I just wanted to ask you about your chip shot from that 16 tee. From your perspective, under the gun, and at that stage, you know, the tournament's on the line, where do you rate that shot to give yourself basically a realistic chance of birdie on that green?
Yeah, well, Leash was in there with a good shot at birdie as well, so I basically just wanted to get it inside him. And it was off a fairway. It was back into the wind, so there was no reason for me not to be aggressive, and yeah, just hit a good shot.
Tony?
Cam, 12 months ago, I guess that was a monkey off the back in terms of winning an individual title. Did you expect that to, I guess, propel you to a win on the PGA Tour this year? And is that, I guess, now the next step from another win, I should say? But
Yeah.
is that now what you hope to use this for to propel forward and become a regular PGA Tour winner?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to do. It's probably something that was one of my goals that I didn't tick off this year, was missing out on that win over there. But you know, I still played great all year. I'd put myself in position to win, and didn't quite pull it off a couple of times. And that's just going to happen with, you know, competing against the best guys in the world. Yeah, so it's definitely, last year it was a huge confidence booster for me. I went over to that West Coast there and, you know, started off the year really strong, and I'm sure it'll do the same thing again this year.
Can I just ask, the tee shot on 15, what were you expecting to see the ball land in?
Tee shot on 15. Oh yeah, I thought it was just gonna. I thought it was gonna miss the water, but probably go even left of the traps or into the traps. So.
Yep.
You told me after you'd gone to the scorer's hut that you're putting a barbecue in at your place in Florida. So could you tell me, what's it like buying a barbecue over in the United States? You get one flown over there, or can you just walk into a hardware shop and buy one? Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, basically. I mean, you just walk in. We're getting a builder guy to like build it all in nicely and stuff. We've already got a barbecue, but just want to make it look a bit better. It's a bit scrappy.
Tom?
Cam, mate, your home club, Royal Queensland, they've put a desire in to host the PGA in 2020 despite the contract down here. How would you feel about it, given that you've had such success here, but then aligned to the club up there?
Is your home club one teamer?
Yeah, my home club's one team. I'm a member at Royal Queensland now. Played a lot of golf out there. Yeah, I mean, I obviously love it down here. I'd love for it to stay here for the next 25 years, but it is what it is. And, you know, Royal Queensland's a great golf club as well. Another challenging test, much the same really as here. And, yeah, I wouldn't mind it. I've played a lot of golf around there, so I know it.
Tony?
Cam, you mentioned I guess you're doing a little bit better everything in your game. What about off the course? And I guess being the poster boy this summer and your rise, I guess, in the Australian and world rankings, do you feel like you're more comfortable now in that realm of being out front and centre? Is that something you've had to, I guess, come to terms with?
Yeah, it definitely has been a little bit different coming home this year. A little bit more attention on myself, media commitments, you know, other commitments as well. And I think I've done a pretty good job of it. I haven't let it stress me out, although it has been not really annoying, but you know, it's just something that I'm not used to. And yeah, I think I did, you know, over the past few weeks, especially last week was a big week for Leash and I. So yeah, it was. I think I've done a pretty good job of it.
Just yeah.
Just your thoughts on Clouds winning the Order of Merit and getting his European Tour card?
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I grew up with Jake. He played in a lot of state teams with Jake. He practiced, you know, endless hours when we were 15, 16, 17 years old. And it's good to see him going real good. You know, I've always seen him as a really good player, and it's, you know, he's stuck to what he knows and he's pulling it off, which is good for him.
Jim?
Cam, on the presentation green there, you were dedicating the trophy to someone particularly. Could you fill us in on what that was about?
So my mate Jason Young earlier this year got diagnosed with he had a tumour in his brain, and he's kind of done a couple stints of chemo and stuff like that. So he's doing the hard yards, but he's hanging in there.
Bruce?
Just in terms of world ranking, the projections suggest that you'll go to 28 or thereabouts as a result of this win. Do you have any goals for next year as to where you'd like to get, or do you just take it case by case?
Yeah, I like to not necessarily look at the outcome of things. I like to just, something that I've always done a good job of is just those process goals, like ticking off the things every week, and kind of let the outcome sort out itself. I'd love to get into the top 20 by the end of this year. It's definitely the next goal. I think that's the next big step for myself, is to get myself in there and you know, get myself in a lot of situations where I can win golf tournaments, and that's what I want to do.
Zane?
I just thought, when you were talking about Jakey there before, I ran into Grantfield this morning and I've seen Tony Meyer. These guys that have been pivotal for you guys, you two, now that you've got two Joe Kirkwood Cups, how much tribute do you pay to them for what they've been able to turn you and Jake into?
I think all of Golf Queensland, Golf Australia, they do such a good job now of developing guys from a really good age, and especially the guys in Queensland, they know when to say stuff, and they don't try and they don't try and fasten things up. They just kind of let you do your own thing, and then if there's something that needs to be said, there will be something and I think that's something that Grant and Tony do really well, is kind of letting you do your own thing, but making sure it's the right thing.
Did we have any final questions for Cam? Tony?
Just one more, Cam. Leash obviously did it pretty tough after the round. He was obviously very disappointed. The mate in you, does it kind of feel for him a little bit that you've snatched that one off him in some sense, that one he wanted really desperately, he's gone to his mate again?
Yeah, I did feel for Leash. It's always hard going up against a mate and trying to win a golf tournament. I've been in this situation before, and I've had it happen to me as well. It's a weird one, but I'm sure we'll have a beer over Christmas, or when I see him next, and we'll be back to being mates.
All right. Final questions? No? Cam, once again, finally, congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.